Ready?
Alrighty.
Okay, kids, let's go.
This is really good.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Hello.
Look, I need to sleep before we do this.
You guys are so.
Holy shit. It ain't C3 penis face and R2 dickhead.
Hello there.
Wish I had my mic on R2 right now.
Found someone you have, I would say.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy. Rogue Squadron. Back at it again. I'm Mopar.
Commander Cody, reporting for duty.
Reporting in.
Ready to execute Order 66. As always,
We're here.
I'm always ready to execute Order
Just
66. Fuck these Jedi, dude.
As
Jedi
always.
scum.
Just leave it there. As always.
It's always been us since the very beginning. Rogue Squadron's always been here. We always will be. A decade later, we're still complaining about Star Wars.
Yeah, but we're omnipotent.
I have a lot of thoughts, mainly because the Fallout show came out and it's so fucking good, and I watched it, and I want to compare it to Star Wars like I always do.
I have only seen 2 episodes. I didn't realize they were going to be so long. I didn't know Amazon Prime doesn't give a fuck, and they're just going all out and just doing things right.
I didn't know that either, man.
We were watching the first episode, and it just like
Kept going.
it gave you like false endings, and then it would just like introduce another character, and then it was like a
Yeah.
false ending. I'm like, what the fuck? What time is it?
Well, because they put in like where there would be commercial breaks if it was on cable or whatever.
Oh.
So every time that happened, I'm like, is this the end of the episode or is this another commercial break? You know, they did pretty good pacing that shit. But yeah,
That show is great.
exceptional, dude. Kind of astounding that it came together.
You know what's kind of weird?
Everything in the show.
The show really is just being carried by the aesthetic that is all Fallout
Oh no.
Right
That's a
now.
big chunk of it.
right now.
Oh yeah, I get.
So,
Well, if you haven't seen,
I'm getting introduced to characters still. So, like I said, I've only watched the first 2 episodes, so I'm like 2 hours in, maybe a little more. Like we knew someone was gonna leave one of the. I almost called it a bunker. Vault. Thank you. We knew someone was gonna because that's how everything starts. Every
Yeah.
single fucking game, that's how it starts. And we knew someone's either gonna be missing or killed. And of course, it was her father. So it was like, okay,
Yep.
that's how they all start.
Yeah, exactly. Lucy is basically like the character player in Fallout
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Which I said that like audibly while I was watching. I was like, we're just watching a gameplay, and I'm
Yep.
fucking for it.
Yep.
Because this is hilarious,
Yep.
but also
Fantastic.
very messy.
Very messy. Yes. Very
Very
brutal.
messy.
Very gross.
Yeah, I multiple times I just kept saying Amazon Prime doesn't give a fuck because they're just like, hey, how can this guy die? Let's more just more
that.
of
Do
whatever
more
you
of
just
that.
said. Yeah,
Mutated, death and destruction, eaten alive, fucked about,
and they're so maybe
burned at the stake.
maybe this show is a tip of the hat to the game creators because
Oh, totally.
there's so much to pull upon, and it doesn't feel heavy fan service, even though it is. It just feels natural. Like the things just add up in my head.
yeah.
like
Well,
when
that's
they
one of the things I wanted to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, when they throw in like the rad roach, like of course you're gonna put a fucking rad roach in there. But it was fun because you got to see like Lucy experience the rad roach for the first time, which
Yeah.
honestly, when the dog, well, I'm dog meat or whatever.
Yeah. That was nice too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the vault stuff was perfect. Just I don't even like
The 50 stuff is perfect. The flashbacks are perfect. Homeboy as a ghoul is perfect.
Dude,
the town they go to
Homeboy?
is perfect. The power armor is perfect.
yeah. The power armor. So that's a
sweet.
that's a physical effect. Someone's wearing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Cuz that's not 3G or
Oh, sorry. You're talking about like the effect of it. I can't tell if it's practical or not.
I think it's practical. It looks like someone's wearing a suit.
I mean, there's definitely parts where they have to climb into it. So at the very least, I think they have one that's just stationary where like
Yeah.
the flap opens and they can climb in and out of it.
It looks so good.
It looks, exceptional.
I think we've gotten to the point because if that's CGI, I can't tell.
I can't. Right, exactly.
I can't tell. And sure, they have the luxury of it being an alternate universe and everything's kind of blended. Nothing's
yeah,
real.
I wonder if because everything's so grungy and destroyed, you don't notice how unpolished the power armor is. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
But it's fitting.
It is fitting.
It fits perfectly in the universe. Everything has fit perfectly so far.
Yes, it has.
Even the brutality, like when it's always fun watching Lucy walk around, and when she went into the town for the first time and how she was treated, I thought, this is exactly what the fuck they would do.
Yeah, exactly. Until you have karma.
Hey, everybody, look at this dumb bitch.
Yeah.
That's what she's like, excuse me? Everybody, look.
I never fully understood the karma system in Fallout. I think I never really maximized it, but that's exactly how it is. The first time you go into your first town, everyone hates you because you don't have a reputation.
You're a vault
one
dweller.
way or the other.
You have had
yeah, and you're wearing that big blue.
That's what I'm saying. She has been goody two shoes.
Yep.
Had steady food,
Yep.
protection, warm clothes, all this shit.
Parents.
And she comes out here and wants help from us.
Right.
Hey, I'll tell you where you can fucking go. I love that shopkeeper, that lady was just like not having it 99% of the time.
Get the fuck out of here, Vault Dweller.
Hey, fuck you.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, man. It's astounding. It's astounding. And the fan service is at the perfect level. And I'm wondering if it feels so perfect because this is like the first non-game Fallout thing that we've had. Like if this was like season 4 of Fallout, would the fan service start to be annoying? That's
Maybe.
a question that I don't have the answer to yet. But I will say there's a bunch of stuff from the game that I was looking out for. Some of it showed up in the show, and some of it they're holding back for season 2 or 3 or whatever.
I'm honestly surprised they threw the armor and the Brotherhood of Steel.
First episode.
Yeah, I'm surprised they threw that in for it because I thought that would have been a cool,
Yeah.
like, half season. Like, oh shit, look at that stuff. But they're like, no, everybody's here.
Yeah.
Everybody else is here, and let's fucking converge.
Yeah, because in the game, it's like you see that on the cover. Like, that's so fucking sweet, but you don't get to it for like 20 hours in the game, you know? You got to really grind your way up towards that. It's good, man. There's a lot of like one-liners that are not fourth wall breaking, but like they know that this is based on a game. Like there's a couple mentions about like fucking side quests and leveling up and like small stuff like that. And it's done tastefully. Really good. Really good.
I'm for it, man.
The
I really
computers,
the
vaults, the signs,
the Vault Tech, the Pit Boys, the
Pit Boys are so great.
dude, they're fucking perfect.
And all the sound effects. I feel like they just yanked a sound effect bank from Bethesda and used that for sound design because the radiation sounds, the vault opening, the Pit Boy, the power armor voice over whatever voice changer, like everything is note for note exactly like the game. It's so good.
Is that? I'm already gonna start shitting. Is that hard? Is that hard to do?
What? Sound design? Yeah,
make
it's real
things
hard.
sound like they should. Because, dude,
Well, it depends what it is. Like, if they did just pull it from the game, that's perfect because that's exactly what we're expecting to hear. Not like a recreation of what we want to hear in the game. You know what I mean?
I just wonder. Yeah. You know where my mind actually goes is the Battlefront re-release. The loading screen in the first one.
They changed
That
it.
was actually pretty fucking accurate. They made it all the same tone.
Yeah.
So it's
Why would that be changed?
Why?
Who's in doing that? Unless
It
it's a glitch or something.
it's so dumb that it frustrates me, but also, why would you change it?
We're going to
who-
change how lightsabers sound in this version.
Who went, you know what would make this better?
We're not going to make functional multiplayer. I got to change that fucking sound effect.
Why was it changed? It's so, and I think that's the mind-boggling thing around it. Like, does that matter? No,
lot
it
of
doesn't matter at all. Realistically, no. But to go and change it, it
Yeah.
makes no fucking sense.
No fucking sense.
Have we been here the whole time?
No, I'm on here too. I got to back up.
Gotcha. Yeah. Fallout's great, man. I honestly sometimes the brutality, if it's overdone in any type of series, it just gets old. But I think in this setting, you have to have it. They're fucking
absolutely,
animals up there. Everyone's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
And that's how they treat each other. Dude, when she came across that shack where the guy wasn't wearing like underwear and she was just asking him for directions, I was terrified for her.
I know.
Because she was just like, we're watching Lucy happy dance. She has no fucking idea what she's doing.
Right.
And every single person she talks to is like, go the fuck back to the vault. What are you doing? And then she'd go to the next town. Go the fuck back to the vault.
Or be my wife and give you some kids before I die, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's funny. Fuck. So good.
Yeah.
I like some of the VATS stuff. It's obviously like you don't see the VATS interface, but when they're having that like shootout in the town or whatever, like you can see someone's leg is getting completely blown off because that's exactly how it would happen in VATS. It's like target the leg, and it's not just that you do damage; it's that the leg is crippled, the leg's gone now. So the fact that they kind of zoomed in and focused on that was nice.
I didn't even like connect that. Like I obviously I saw his leg blew off and out, but I didn't really like because the dude was targeting his leg.
It wasn't.
It's full
overt.
crippled. It's,
yeah. The ghoul is awesome. Whatever homeboy's name is, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Walter
There's a
something.
lot of actors and actresses in this that I'm like, I know them. I have no idea where,
Yeah.
but I know them.
Yeah. Some familiar faces and some newbies.
It's good. It's a nice blend, and none of the faces outside of the ghoul are like bigger.
Well, it's not like Brad Pitt's in the show.
Yeah, exactly. So they're not taking from it. I feel like everything. Her dad was fine. Like he's been in a few things, but I'm like, I think he fits well as overseer.
Yeah, but he's in there so brief, you know.
Yeah.
And the ghoul, but he's a movie star. So the fact that we know him as a movie star and he's a movie star in Fallout, it's like perfect. It's like not even.
Wait, why do we know him as a
not
movie
even
star?
weird. No, I'm saying like he's the biggest name in the show probably.
Oh yeah,
So we already know him as a TV and a movie star or whatever.
true.
But he's playing an actor in the show, so it fits.
I even like the callback that they did because I think it was during the fight, something where he lassoed somebody and threw. And I'm like, oh, that's before the bombs went off. He was a fucking cowboy. I was just like, dude, that's the smallest little detail, but it's such a nice touch.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't show that earlier, I would have been like, okay, yeah, dude, just lassoed some fucker. But oh yeah, he actually does have experience doing this.
Not only was he
See,
a
but-
cowboy, he was a movie star cowboy.
Yes. But that's the small stuff that if you set it up right, no one's going to ask questions.
Yeah.
Not a single person's going to be like, or critique that. But if they didn't show him lassoing stuff preemptively,
It would just be like forcing cowboy stuff into it.
It would be forcing cowboy stuff, or like, look at this like ridiculous
Yeah.
action scene
Yeah.
that we're just putting it on screen for you, for the viewer, and it doesn't feel. It feels natural. It feels like, I can actually fucking do this, and I will use it in battle. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish I could get a lasso in the game though. That's a problem.
I don't want to last. I want big guns.
So I love the Fallout universe, but self-admittedly, I've only played 3. But I love the vibe and aesthetic and story, and I played 3 so much that I'm into it. So it's really nice to get.
Are you serious?
What?
You've never played 4?
I started and created a character and played for like 45 minutes.
dude.
Hour, 45 minutes. That's it.
I think 4's. People might get mad. So I've only played 3, Vegas, and 4.
Yeah.
Vegas, it is like by Fallout fans, like the best story.
Different
I don't like it.
developer or something.
I didn't like it.
It's kind of like KOTOR 2,
Yeah.
I guess.
I couldn't get into it. I dropped it pretty quickly. I maybe spent 10 hours in the game. This was years ago, maybe a decade ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I just dropped it. I've played Fallout 3 maybe 4 or 5 times. Actually, one of them was recently, and I didn't play all the way through because I just got to that point where I was like, I know where this is going to go. This is nothing new.
It's older. I think it'd be great if they did a quick little remaster like they've done with Skyrim and stuff.
Dude.
Wall, man, wall.
What?
I think it's Fallout.
What?
What?
What are you looking up? Stop leaving us on the edge, dude.
4 hours ago, Fallout 4 Next Gen update. So they are updating Fallout 4 for the next gen, and they're adding a bunch of DLCs.
All right.
So Fallout 4 happens in Boston.
Right. I do own it.
That's supposed to
I just
happen.
got to re-download it.
That's supposed to happen by the end of the month, which we've only got like a week and a half left.
Good timing for the show.
This is fucking perfect timing. They're going to sell a shit ton.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Well, I think it's free if you already have the game.
Yeah, I do. I bought it. I just only played it for like an hour.
Oh, April, Return to the Commonwealth, April 25th. The free Fallout 4 upgrade arrives on next-gen consoles.
That's nice stuff.
Dude.
Imagine a world where when Star Wars I guess they did do that for Solo. And they kind of did for Rise of Skywalker. Like, Rise of Skywalker comes out, and then the Battlefront 2 update is, like, on release day. So
Yeah.
you leave the theater, and you're like, oh, I can play as Kylo Ren and Rey and shit.
Timing has a lot to do with it. If you're prepped and ready and you have all that stuff laid out and your show hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If everything's good and you can do all the fun fan service stuff, it makes sense.
So a Fallout 4 Next Gen upgrade is slated for release on April 25th, arriving as a complimentary update for all platforms while tailored for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Enhancements will also extend to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Okay.
So everybody's covered as long as you have the game.
Yeah, I might get it starting to download here soon.
So I also wanted to touch base on the timeline of Fallout.
I was actually going to bring that up because the show, I heard that the show is canon, so it should nestle itself somewhere along this storyline.
So the bombs drop in 2077, I believe.
Yeah.
Basically, they're all in a row from Fallout 1, 2, 3, Vegas 4, and the show. They're all in a row. The odd man out is Fallout 76, which happens 60-ish years before the first Fallout.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them, it's like a 200-year span.
That's crazy.
So the Fallout, the series we're watching is the furthest away from the bombs.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. I wonder how they're going to work that in.
Dude, the scene where the bombs were dropped.
Crazy. Everything looks fantastic.
Bombs, plural.
Oh, yeah.
That
many.
was the one that I saw the first like flash, and I'm like, we knew this was coming. But
Yeah, then
this
there's,
is
like,
still
7 of them.
this is still fucking intense, and the way they wrap. What is up with birthday parties and nuclear
Destruction.
fallout? Because there's a birthday party that's how I think the third one starts. Fallout 3, you start it's your 10th birthday and you get a Pip-Boy. And then,
in the vault. Yeah.
yeah, in the vault.
Yeah.
And now this one was the day the bombs dropped.
Yep.
God, yeah, when the first flash goes off and everybody starts running and then it like pans over it and you see like boom, boom, boom. I'm like,
Gnarly, dude.
Jesus.
It's gnarly.
Dude, I thought it was badass that everybody was kind of just running and he hopped on a fucking horse and was like,
That's what you know,
giddy
dude.
the fuck up, bro. Let's fucking go.
Giddy up, brother.
I love the different settings of the games. 76 was in West Virginia. 4 was Boston. 3 was DC. I think
Vegas is
1
Vegas,
and
obviously.
Vegas, and then 1 and 2 I believe were on the West Coast in California, which seems like a large part of where we're at in the series.
Yeah, this is based in LA.
There's other spots that I wasn't 100% sure, but yeah.
There's so much of the hardest thing. I was trying to get my wife to watch this, and she like tuned in and out for a couple episodes, but she just kept being so confused by we're in the future, but we're seeing
Tech.
stuff in our world in Los Angeles, but everything is in the 50s vibe.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is happening? And it is honestly very confusing. You just have to kind of like dive in and like give into it. Like, yeah, I'm here for this.
But
I don't care how much it makes sense or not.
But none of that really matters.
It doesn't, but it is confusing.
It's just like an aesthetic. Like the dates don't matter. Let's just say it was 1950 and the bombs dropped, and that's how the show starts. Just tell her that. The dates don't matter.
Well, doesn't matter anymore.
It is future tech, though.
That's why it's confusing, because it's our world 200 years in the future, but it's all based on like 50s kind of vibe and aesthetic.
And tech. Because it's like old TVs and shit.
But it's like future, it's retro futurism.
Yeah.
So it's like future tech if it was imagined in like the
Yeah.
40s and 50s.
Well, and then even before the day the bomb dropped, when the mother walked through the kitchen, there was the bot.
Yeah.
Get the Mr. Help Hands.
Mr. Handy, Mr. Dandy,
Mr. Handy, I think.
Mr. Handy. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of
Like,
hands.
that guy's funny too. What to do with my hands right now?
I also love how people treat ghouls. They're terrified of fucking ghouls.
I forgot. I don't know how I forgot, but I forgot about the feral ghouls and the whole zombie vibe. Basically,
Oh,
if they
yeah.
don't take their drugs, they turn into zombies.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
That's one of my favorite parts because when you get into the sewers and really start digging into the game, man.
Yeah.
Some of those or the ghouls, they're ravished.
Yup.
Especially the glowing ones. Have you ever come across a glowing one?
I'm recalling that faintly.
They're just like radiated Jesus, and they like float at you, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? You're shooting bottle caps and shit at it. Like, what the fuck is that?
It's gnarly, dude.
I'm waiting for my first bottle cap grenade. Mine.
There's so many. The beautiful thing is they didn't try to get every single reference shoved into season 1. Like I said, there's a couple big things that I kept waiting for.
Yeah.
That didn't show up, and I'm not mad about that. I'm like, they're just kind of holding some of that, especially because like if they put the power armor, like that's one of the things that like you mentioned earlier. That would have been what I thought would be like a nice surprise.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
They lead off with that shit. So like, there's other things that they're kind of holding back to like a good season 2 reveal, and the finale episode's great, and it's partly a cliffhanger, partly not, and there's a couple of shots at the end where it's like kind of like the end of Ahsoka, where it like partially wraps up, and then you just see shots of like each character kind of like
In the
looking
going
longingly
forward.
into the distance. There's a couple of that at the end too, which is pretty good. What's up, Ease Wheatley? I don't know why you change your name every day.
Tina Pip Daddy.
Pit Boy Daddy. Watch Fallout. It's good. I won't spoil it, but we can talk about the storyline once you finish it. Which I obviously know like the setting of Fallout, but I never very, very closely followed the storyline with like Vault Tech and like the government and the Brotherhood of Steel and everything. So it's good to get some of that backstory without being distracted by fucking side quests and shit.
Yeah.
I could just focus on the storyline for once.
Yeah. Yeah.
All positive things. I literally have nothing. I literally have nothing bad to say about it. There's like maybe 2 parts of CGI where I was just like, I can kind of tell that's CGI, and
And that's what you
that
said.
was it. That was like the only problem.
You're like, what, did they do that on purpose? Anyways.
You can get away with all of that because it's so wacky. Like Bethesda's always been extremely dark and murderous and wacky at the same time. So it's like
Bethesda or Fallout, you're saying?
both. There's even stuff like that in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like the Dark Brotherhood, there's like a little kid trying to summon the Dark Brotherhood and like murder his mom or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's funny and brutal at the same time.
the lusty Argonian maid.
Yeah.
Like someone
like that.
wrote a fucking half story digitally in this.
Yeah. All that kind of stuff.
The attention to
is
detail, like
great.
the more you look, the more you find. And I think that's what Bethesda's done very, very well outside of, Starfield might have that. They might have that very heavily, where the more you look, the more you find, but I haven't done big enough dive.
Yeah, I fell out of that one. Yeah, there's a couple moments where it's not a spoiler at all, but you have memories of how things are placed and arranged in the game as you're like walking through an abandoned house, like how they have like a desk and the lamp and the drawer and like stuff's laid out. And there's one scene where there's like a medical table and there's like a tray with like a syringe and a bloody pair of scissors. And the way it's arranged, I'm like, dude, that is directly from the game. I've seen that before.
It is.
It's in my memory.
It's in the details, guys. It's so when she first starts like coming across, just like a neighborhood. It's like the day she leaves. She comes across this neighborhood and she just starts going through a house, and you see that family of 4 that's just skulls and shit.
Yep.
And you're like, first off, that's fucking crazy. But like when she starts looking around, I'm like, I've seen this place.
Oh yeah, the
I've
little
s-
bottles and
Yeah, everything.
the comics, the fucking Vault Tech food.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love the also, yeah. The more you look, man, because they also
You're only
do,
2 episodes in.
I know, but and they tip their hat to so much in the game. It really is. It's just they paid attention. It's like Fallout fans created a Fallout show.
So the way I wanted to loop this back into complaining about Star Wars is kind of what I mentioned earlier. Like, does it not feel fan servicey because it's the first of its kind that's not a video game?
It's also the first of its kind done right. How many other game things have been put into a series or movie?
I haven't watched many of them. I know everyone hated the Halo show.
Probably a handful of them, and maybe one or two. Like Resident Evil, they became,
Couple movies.
yeah, quite a few movies, isn't there? Like 4 or 5 of them. I'm sure those are decent, but I feel like this one's groundbreaking.
I think the difference is this is one of the very
Mario's
few.
actually, thank you. It's not a bad.
That's a good call. I haven't seen that yet, actually. Sonic.
Sonic's,
This is one of the few that was adapted note for note, though. Like, the issue people had with
Yeah.
Halo, from what I've heard, is like the storyline veers wildly, almost as if it's like a totally different timeline. And like Resident Evil, it's not like a creepy zombie mansion. It's like a action fucking shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
Everyone's crazy. It doesn't have like the suspense that the games had. It's more of like a horror shooter, almost like Doom kind of. You know what I mean?
Makes me just want a Skyrim show.
I don't. You know, this is maybe a little controversial. I don't know if a Skyrim show would do as good as a Fallout show.
I think it would.
Fallout, you can't really compare to anything else. It is very unique. But if you do a Skyrim show, it's like you're kind of like, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. You're kind of
Yeah, you're
it's
in that
jostling around with all those fantasy shows.
definitely in that vein.
But there is no other thing like Fallout, really. Not that I can think of.
Yeah. It's fun, man. It's fucking fun. I don't know what I want to watch more.
It's very fun. Yeah, you should. If you watch the Cavs, you should watch more.
I also rewatched the first episode of Andor.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Exactly. It is.
I'm not even like fucking around. It's just the pace and the launching point are so good. Dude, it drops you in. You're following this dude, even if you don't know who he is, Cassian.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for a girl at some fucking strip club. He gets eyeball fucked by some troopers or some security guards or whatever. They catch up with him later, and shit goes wrong quick, and then you're already on board. You already know. First off, you're like, who the fuck is he looking for? This is interesting. Why she got to be from this planet or whatever he was asking about.
Yeah.
But also, now he's wanted, and he's got and he goes and meets his buddy. Hey, cover for me. I was with you last night. We went to your house and I'm like, dude, you're in it. Whether you like it or not, you're just in it.
You are.
And I feel like, when was I in it for Boba Fett?
I had little moments of that, yeah, but not very often.
Not sure I ever was.
Mando season 1, I felt like that.
Yeah, there's points,
Yeah.
but
Like
it
that
just,
whole original first scene on that snow planet when they walk into the bar and he zaps the guy through the fucking hole.
Wah, wah, wah.
And the transport, yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, I was on board for Mando pretty quickly, like immediately.
Yeah,
But then season 2 and 3, then it's like they're. Well, I'll go back because I did want to kind of relate Fallout to Star Wars, so I guess
go ahead.
I'll throw it in here. They're trying to mold a story around the lore and the setting in Mando. Whereas even though Fallout is definitely dripping with its own aesthetic, there is a core storyline. And we have 3 main characters that we're following the whole time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the primary focus and everything else is kind of supporting that. Whereas Mando season 1 felt like that. But as we get more into the Gideon and the cloning and the Mando stuff, I feel like they're trying to exemplify all of like the Mando lore from the cartoons and then work a story into that instead of the other way around.
They're forcing Din into a storyline instead of building his own storyline.
Yeah.
Because it was, again, Endgame is getting the Mandalorians together. Fuck Din and fuck Din. I'm sorry. Fuck Din and whatever he does.
Yeah.
He just needs to get us there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit what happens in between to Din, and that's where we get all these bullshit episodes.
Right.
Because they just said, hey, we just need Endgame is Mandalorians take back Mandalore.
Right.
And
so
you're
we can
like,
get all the Mandos on screen.
and you're like, okay, that's fun, but what happens? Well, you know, cloning, and then they
Cloning, Jedi.
and then they wrestle, and there's a pterodactyl,
They
there's a
wrestle.
pterodactyl, and then they get mad.
Spiders.
Then they get mad at each other, and then they stay mad, and then they don't. Then they're not mad anymore, and then they shoot each other, and then they get mad again, and then the clones, and you're like, none of this.
We write shows.
None of this matters. None of it matters.
Yeah. I don't know. That's how I
Always feel.
I felt not every time. It's like it's glimpses of it. It's not like the whole show's ruined and I hate it because of that. It's like they were just I think that's the reason I get so pissed. It's like you're so close to just doing it right. And obviously you know how to do that because we have Andor to look at. It's right there. You did it. You did it already. I don't know.
Yeah, write the character. Don't write the story. Is that weird to say? Like, write the character. The story will happen. All of us have a story.
Yeah.
And you can even have an outcome in mind, but you have to write the character to get to that.
Yep.
I feel like, yeah, they just have a character. Let's drag them along to the end game, and you're like, I guess.
The character is an excuse for us to see some Star Wars stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to we have a really fucking great character arc and storyline, and it just happens to be in the Star Wars universe. Because you could take the Cassian storyline, you could drop that into Game of Thrones, you could put it in Dune,
Yeah, it works
you could put
very
it in
well.
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking about that since I did watch Dune, and I started reading the book now too. I'm like, Paul Atreides is Anakin, is Harry Potter, is Jon Snow. It's like the chosen one, you know, like split between two houses, or like in Anakin's case, doesn't have a father at all, whatever. It's all the same thing, but we want to buy into the character arc and what they have to, you know, go through and accomplish in the show, and the setting and everything else around it is just like nice little dressing, frosting,
But,
whatever,
like,
icing.
So what do we like about Cassian Andor? He's easy to root for because right off the bat, it's not his fault. He's looking for someone. And no joke, he gets eyeball fucked because there's two drunk dudes at the bar who don't like him all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And shit goes awry, and he didn't mean to kill the dude. And then you're just like, well, fuck. If someone finds out I killed that dude, I'm dead. So
Right.
now I have to kill this other dude just to cover up my tracks
Right.
and get the fuck out. From there, he didn't really do anything wrong, but he was put in a pickle and he had to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, the times, he was gonna get fucking killed.
Yeah, you also see the Empire being oppressive in Andor more than any other show.
And that's the overcome. Like that's the hurdle he has to overcome. Not only that, but banding people together with his actions and getting people to change their mindset. Let's not just go along with what the Empire says. And there's a lot of other people that have that mindset, like the older lady that he stays with.
Yep.
But he just kind of carries it along, and he's just this like catalyst is the word.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't even know where or what he's doing, but he's fucking doing it. And that's where I love Homeboy. Sacrifice.
Saw Gerrera?
So no. I've sacrificed more than
Oh, sorry. The way you said sacrifice was like lies.
nice.
Luthen, who's also in Dune. I can't fucking get it off.
Luthen's already in the game, but when he sees what Din's doing or hears what Din's
Cassian.
doing, yeah,
Cassian.
thank you. I'm jumping around too much. Let me take a breath.
It's okay.
Okay.
Timelines and universes.
Luthen and Cassian, it's like, God, they work so well together because they're two of the same people in two different positions, and they just understand
Yeah.
what needs to be done. And I think you see that carried through into Rogue One with Cassian. And I don't blame him for going out and trying to fucking murder Jin's dad because that's what needed to happen.
Yeah. Until he knew more and he changed his mind.
Until he knew more. And he made the right call
Once he knew the
at
information.
the right time.
Yeah.
Which is what a good guy would do.
Yeah.
A bad guy would just do it and fucking walk away because that's where the credits were.
Yeah, bad guy thinks everything's justified.
Yes.
Yeah.
like
I
it.
like what you said about he rallies people around him and he also convinces people to change their mind when he needs to. He does that on his homeworld, but he also not his homeworld, wherever he ends up.
Yeah,
with
I know
Dix
what
and
you're talking
stuff.
about. Yeah.
But he also does that on the mission that Luthen sends him on.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, you
With
know,
the heist?
friends and family thing that people trust him. Yeah, on the whole heist thing, he's an outsider, everyone's pissed, and by the end of it, he's kind of leading the charge because he's
He's the only one with
the only one with common
abilities.
sense.
Abilities, yeah.
No, all those people were kind of savages, but yeah, there's a line when he's looking at the schematics or something where he's like, "You guys have no fucking idea how to fly this ship, do you?"
Well, that's
something like that.
They were walking through the plans.
Yeah.
The plans of the heist. And he's like, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, once we get all this stuff loaded, we're just gonna fly out of there." And he's like, "Well,
How?
who's flying it?" And they're like,
I don't know
"I'm not a pilot." And they're like, "So you put all this shit together? No one knows how to fucking fly."
exactly.
I'm a flyer.
Flora. God, Solo's so good. What a fucking
I like Cassian Andor.
I know
Why?
because it's a good
He's
character.
he's exactly what I hate. A fucking rebel during the Empire. He's exactly what I hate, but he's exactly what I want.
Makes me love the rebels for the first time.
For the first time in a long time. Speaking of mutants, banging off the Fallout stuff.
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, is that
So-
what you were gonna go for?
Yeah.
Also, speaking of mutants, the third Deadpool trailer came out. If you
Yeah.
want to
I watched that. Go
balls about that.
Mine will be short. I'm halfway through the last Ronin comic series.
yeah.
It's very dark and very intense.
Go ahead. I just one of our buddies said, or maybe it was you that said, there's in the works to do a Last Ronin movie.
Dude, if they do it, I don't know how they're gonna do the.
It's going into R-rated territory. Paramount is developing The Last Ronin, adapting the storyline from the comics. Live action feature with the intent of making it R-rated.
Well, it's impossible not to make it R-rated.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm glad they're not going to water it down. And I'm glad, just quick side note, we'll go back to it, that Deadpool looks like Deadpool even though Disney now owns the property. I know that people were worried about, like, are they going to water down Deadpool? But fucking no, they didn't.
Yeah.
right.
Well, they know what works. They know where the money is.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome that they're going to be doing that because that whole, well, at least, like I said, I'm about 50% through. That whole storyline is kind of similar to some of the older Batman storylines. The Miller series of Batman where there's like...
It's like the same era as that, right? When it came out?
It feels very similar because there's like mutant gangs that are taking over.
80s dystopian grunge.
Yeah, it definitely is still in that. I'm not gonna drop which turtle lived, but they did it very tastefully. You find out a lot quicker than I expected in the book. I thought it was gonna be like
There's just one left, right?
there's one left, and you don't know who it is up front. So they're like walking because everything's black and white.
Spoiler,
So-
but isn't it Raphael?
I'm not telling you.
Well, my brother got me a figure of it. I think I could tell from the figure. Is it Raphael?
No,
Because I haven't read it.
no.
Okay. All right, never mind.
I
Could be
actually, well, I don't want to spoil it.
You can't tell from the weapon because he has like
He has
20
all of
different
them.
weapons.
He
yeah.
has all the weapons.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you see him on the comic series, it's black and white, and he's got all the weapons. So you're like, okay. And it was pretty. So they left little breadcrumbs up front. You figure out pretty quickly. It's like in the third chapter, whatever what you want to call it. But they introduced the turtle, which is he's unrecognizable. So part of the storyline is the mutation doesn't stop mutating. So he's getting bigger and stronger even in his old age. So even when they were teenagers, they were like full
Yeah. Full bore.
bore. So now that he's, let's just say he's like in his mid 30s, he's a fucking hoss, and he can like, I mean, he just is.
Pizza fucking dude.
Oh yeah, but he's so like. doesn't know his place. Like, should he die? Because everybody's dead. Splinter's dead. Everybody's dead. So he's like, I'm the last fucker, and I can't. He's almost like a Hulkish guy where he's like, I've tried to kill myself, didn't work. So I went for a walk. I walked all the way to fucking Timbuktu, and literally, I think he ended up overseas somewhere, and he just got lost, and he came back and thought, hey, if I can make a change, I'm gonna make changes to my city, because Shredder's grandson is in power now.
Jesus. It's been a while.
So it's definitely been a
the
while.
turtles are, I'm assuming, probably can't die since they're fucking mutants. I mean, they can die, but like not die of old age. I mean,
Yeah, I don't.
like
well,
how old is he now? If it's Shredder's grandson,
True. He's got to be, I guess, in his 50s, 60s.
70s, 80s.
Well, he's a
90s.
mutant. It doesn't fucking matter.
That's what I mean.
But
Wolverine's like 500, right?
yeah,
Something like that.
Hugh Jackman's.
He's a fucking savage, dude. Still, I love that guy.
You know who should play Wolverine?
It's Hugh Jackman.
It's Joe Rogan. That like small ape dude.
Yeah, like 5'8" and jacked.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Hugh Jack. I think he made a perfect. But Joe Rogan is built for that. Give him some chops.
Give him some DMT. He's going,
He just needs to regrow some fucking hair.
I was gonna say they need the best wig I've ever had. That's pretty gnarly, man. I don't think I can't picture that.
I can't.
I get his build, but I can't picture. Only because I know he doesn't like acting or doing movies or whatever.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to picture him being serious
just being mad.
with claws. I can't get into it. Deadpool 3 looks awesome though, man.
It looks fun. I watched the trailer today. Yeah, I'm a little hesitant. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people say like they're a sucker for when they get like two big characters together, and I'm not that. I think I'm the opposite. I feel like a lot of times when they do that shit, it's forced, and they're just gonna be like, hey, well, this is a cool guy and this is a cool guy, so together it's gonna be a cool guy movie, and you're like, I guess. So that actually does just take. It's like a half step
Gives
back.
you a pause.
I'm just like, it's probably gonna be great. Probably.
Well, there's fourth wall nonsense going into it because we know that those X-Men solo movies were not good. And that's when they introduced Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool in one of those. And it's like one of the most fan-hated comic book moments of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So Wolverine and Deadpool already have some sort of past. So going into it, there's like, it's not just going to see those two characters in the movie. It's like giving the MCU a chance to, I guess, fix their on-screen relationship, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I think I've seen that one Wolverine movie once where they fight at the end and he's still got like the bone claws, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
And Deadpool is on the mouth.
Oh, yeah. Was that Ryan Reynolds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was all bad. Whatever.
Which is, yeah, super weird that happened. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think they just can't do that they can't do that too frequently. Like the Spider-Man Far From Home, No Way Home, whatever. That was fucking awesome to see the three Spider-Men come together. But obviously they can't do that every single movie. So I think if they space it out well enough, I'll be cool with it.
Yeah.
But Marvel's been lacking, and I feel like it's great for now that Disney owns the property to do their first movie with Deadpool and do it right, and to have Wolverine come into the MCU for the first time. I think that's going to be fucking. Those are two huge moments. I think this movie's going to kind of, at least for me, hopefully, kind of like jolt me back into some MCU interest, because as much as I've tried, I have definitely been waning the past year and a half.
I'm going in blind. I have no idea how they're overlapping and where this Deadpool is compared to
Oh, I don't either.
the X-Men, compared to the Avengers. Of
Same.
what I'm
clue.
so lost at this point. I'm not sure it matters. That's kind of another issue. There's unlimited timelines, so they literally can do whatever the fuck they want, and it doesn't need to make sense, which on one hand is really fun, but on the other, it's like, well, then there's no serious effects.
And speaking of, I heard that the Fantastic Four is going to be set in a different timeline, universe, whatever, multiverse thing.
So are we talking like Avengers Thanos? They went one way, And now because the X-Men weren't a part of any of that. So now we're on X-Men timeline that somehow Deadpool's on now. But he was already a little bit because of his Deadpool with Colossus and...
Yeah, he was in the normal thing. I think it's Wolverine is from a different timeline. Because the X-Men are not in... There's a term for it. I can't remember. It's like Earth with 3 digits. That's how they kind of label like the timeline that we're used to from like the first 20 movies. 613, 616, something like that.
614, Cleveland represent, bitch.
X-Men are not. 330, fucking West Virginia.
West Virginia. 330. That's
The
also
X-Men aren't
Cleveland.
in the main thing. The X-Men are not in the main timeline yet.
614 is Columbus, by the way.
I know. That's why I started laughing. Fuck yeah.
What?
216.
I don't know. I'm going to see Deadpool, though. I'm
I
excited.
am going to see it as well, I guess.
Shut up.
It's been... When was the last time you watched a Marvel movie?
Well, I went to see Captain Marvel, The Marvels, whatever, in theaters because it was a cousin birthday event. I don't know if I would have went into theaters of my own accord to see it, but I was not disappointed.
You haven't watched anything since the Marvels released? Isn't that like 2 years ago? You haven't watched a Marvel?
No, not Captain Marvel. Like the Marvel, it came out in like
Oh, over a year ago?
November, I think.
Oh.
It's somewhat recent. I would need to look up a list of like,
I catch like the Avengers movies randomly on TV all the time.
Let me see here what we got on the fucking goddamn
Jesus, look at that.
the multiverse saga. All right, so I'm gonna start post Spider-Man: Far From Home, which is the end of Phase 3. I'm just going in release order. Black Widow, which was fine. Shang-Chi, which was great. Eternals, which everyone hates. I thought it was interesting, but it wasn't the best thing ever.
Wait, what was the last of 3? Sorry.
Black Widow, Shang-Chi.
No, last of 3.
Oh, sorry. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Far From Home.
That's the one where they're overseas.
That's the one where he
fucking
fights Calypto or whatever. The
Calypso, no, Mysterio.
Mysterio. Same dude.
Same dude. Eternal, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So I've seen all of that. Phase 4, I've seen all of. Phase 5 is Quantumania,
Okay.
Guardians 3. I have not seen those. The Marvels. And then, so that was November. So that's not too long ago for the Marvels. And then Deadpool is the next one. July 26th, Deadpool Wolverine. Captain America is next February. That's with Homeboy, Falcon, as Captain America.
Okay, yeah.
And then Thunderbolts, which I think is supposed to be a bunch of villains banding together. Like Avengers, but it's all the villains. Like Suicide Squad.
yeah.
I think. I don't know.
That's a Kevin Feige one, too.
So
He's done
what's-
all this.
Well, that's producer.
I didn't know he was producing all of this.
He controls the entire thing.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. And then Fantastic Four, Blade, Avengers 5 and 6. Still kind of all just up in the air.
Is that where Doom's coming in, Dr. Doom?
I don't know if they're going to throw him into Fantastic Four. I also, you always have real world actor stuff affecting the timeline and the storyline
yeah.
because there was some drama with whoever's playing Kang.
Yeah.
And they might not want to kind of recast him. So they might, because I feel like he was supposed to be the villain for a couple years. So I don't know what they're going to do about that.
Sucks to suck, man.
Speaking of Kang, I feel like the dude that is playing Maximus in Fallout would be a good replacement for him.
I'm iffy on that guy.
To recast him.
I don't know if it's the character he's playing or if it's his acting. He definitely is the one question mark for me. I'm like,
I think it's the character.
yeah, this one. I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't matter whether it is the character or the actor. I'm just still like, the fuck is this guy? What is he doing?
He's got some interesting
issues.
I don't want to say anything because you haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so there's more to him. Okay, yeah, because in the first 2 episodes, he's just so like not there. Like I don't get what he's doing.
I
I'm not along for the ride with him yet.
I hated him at first, and then I came to be okay with him.
Okay.
Not hated like his performance. Like I hated the character.
Yeah, maybe that's where I'm at. I just don't. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I get nothing.
Have you ever played Yahtzee?
Yes,
That's good.
it's fine.
Played Yahtzee the other day for the first time in a long time.
There's a couple card games that we used to play all the time that I don't remember, but as soon as I was shown the rules, I'm sure I would pick it back up again. Slaps is one of them.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm good at two things in my life. Battlefield 4 and fucking Slaps. Those are the two things.
I do remember you used to dominate that.
I fuck people up. It took well, no, we were married at the time. It took me like 15 beers for her to beat me once. I was so fucked.
You're so like quick and
I don't even
smashing
have
people's
to,
hands too.
Oh, I'm like bop done and gone. Give it to me, done. Bop done. It's I don't know what it is.
Slaps was fun. And then what's the version?
Egyptian rat screw is what other people know it as. So if you guys don't are like,
That's
what's,
right,
What
yeah.
Slaps? It's
Egyptian Rat Screw. That's the same game, right?
Yeah.
And then what was the one where there's 4 people and it's like president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, or something? Okay, yeah. Asshole. Okay.
Yeah, that's the drinking game. I actually don't.
Yeah, the non-drinking game version.
I
Is,
don't remember how to play. Or there was BS. BS was another one where you would claim, hey,
That you have-
I'm putting down like
someone would have to
three
call-
threes
Yeah. You're bluffing, yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, I forget how to
I
play
want to say
BS.
those are the same game.
Yeah.
BS is like a part of asshole? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Those things do not, like I have the memory of playing the game, but I could not tell you the rules, really. But as soon as we do like one practice round, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah.
I'd be back in.
Euchre is one of those that I will never forget, though.
Yeah.
That's burned into my brain forever.
We used to play 10s and 2s. That was a hard one.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah.
I grew up.
Fuck Euchre, dude. I need to play it.
Yeah, I need to play euchre. It's been a minute.
I need to play some poker, too.
We used to play midnight baseball.
Nope.
Five card stud, 7 card draw, shit like that.
I never heard of Midnight Baseball. But I know like 5 and 7 card. I used to play. Omaha was actually my favorite poker game.
I think midnight baseball. I think midnight baseball had like a wild card that, or two things. You had wild cards, and then you could call an extra card. So you say 7s are wild, 4s is an extra card. So everybody gets 5 cards, and you flip over, and then. So you flip over one, so whoever starts, say I threw a 10 out there. The next person has to beat a 10. So they can flip over. They get like
Jack.
two twos. A pair of 2s beats
Or-
a 10.
Yeah.
And then it would keep going around. And then I would flip over a 4, and that would be an extra card. So I'd get an extra card towards my hand out of the deck.
Yeah. 2s and 4s were something, I think, right? Or
Well,
4s and 10s, something
You
like
could you always called it, but like yeah, most people did like 2s are wild, 4s are an extra card.
that. I know that by a different name, but yeah, I played that.
Yeah, midnight baseball, whatever. Because you're going in blind. You have no idea what you don't like. A 5 card draw, you get your cards and you can throw 3 of them away
Yeah.
and get 3 more to see if you can better your hand. But this
Yeah.
one's you're midnight, but you're blind. You're
Right.
going in blind.
Yeah, I always liked the 4 card Omaha.
Yeah.
Hold'em was my favorite because you had to
God,
use 2 from your hand.
I forgot about Omaha.
You couldn't use less than 2 or more than 2. You had to use 2. So it would fuck with you sometimes. Like
Yeah,
you
so
have
if you have,
4
like,
aces
straight-
in your hand, you can only use 2 aces. You still have to use the other 3 from the board. It kind of forces you into that. Whereas Texas Hold'em, it's like there's a straight on the board. I have a straight.
Everybody has a straight.
Exactly. I'm not using mine at all.
Yeah.
So that one was always fun. Remember we had that giant casino like 2-day tournament at
No.
maybe you didn't go to it. I don't remember. I don't want to say their names on
Yeah.
air or whatever, but they organized. It was like a 2-day thing, and they started with like things as innocuous as like blackjack or whatever.
Yeah.
And there'd be like a new game every hour, every 2 hours or something, and then the finale was like a big Hold'em tournament. Yeah. No limit Texas Hold'em. I would like to play some fucking poker, dude.
I
I need it in my life. desperately.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
Something missing my
The
life.
last
Oh,
serious one I played, I actually won. But that was probably like 6 years ago.
Oh yeah, it's been a minute. Last time yeah, fuck, shit.
I no joke, I want to get back into some type of card game. And I'm like, what's a good game that like me and my wife can play that's like
playing cards or like
yeah, well no, like a
nerdy card game.
yeah, nerdy card game.
Yeah. Trading card game.
And I was like, I want it to be fun, but not too in depth. And I was like, you know what? I might just default to like Magic the Gathering, and maybe we'll just buy 2 decks, and then just she can. I asked her, I was like, just pick a color, and I gave her five options. She's like, oh, I'd do like a black deck, and I was like, I've always liked green and blue, so I would just like
Yeah.
And then we could switch. You play as my green and blue, and I'll play as the black, and we'll try. I mean, what? Fuck it. What am I gonna spend? $100 for so many cards? We'd be fine for like months on $100 for the cards.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of pre-made decks and stuff. Problem with those, like the longer they go, the more complicated they get. Like I love that Game of Thrones card game that we always played.
That game is.
But they would release cycles for like every house. So like all 7 houses over the course of like 7 years.
Yeah.
Every time they do, there's like a new trait or a new like type of ability. So by the time you get to the end, there's cards and there's like, you have to memorize like, 15 different qualifiers and like this types of characters and classes and traits and abilities. And it just gets so complex.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind is that game, it benefits you to backstab people. And I'm like, I'm not doing that with playing against my wife. We're going to kill each other at the end.
Yeah, it can be a little dangerous.
So, and like you said, that game gets kind of convoluted. Like there's so much you have to remember. I remember playing a match, probably the last one I played, however many years ago.
Yeah.
We played a whole game. Someone won, and then someone's like, what about this aspect? And we're like, fuck, none of us did that the entire fucking game.
Well,
Now,
we forgot to discard all game.
yeah. It was something simple that like
Yeah.
none of us checked. I think it was like, I'm going to fuck it up. Legacy or something. Like something you had to check at the end of each hand that would give you extra shit, and no one did it the whole game.
Yeah, like if you have to discard down to a certain amount.
Yeah, or
Something
something.
like that,
And I was like, fuck, none of us did that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I just don't have time to like immerse myself in that anymore.
See, that's what I feel like. Magic the Gathering, you could play just like a low hand and just play first 2 characters that die.
Yeah, the problem is I start to get too obsessed. Then I'm gonna start going to game shops and start playing and start watching YouTube videos about strategy, and it's just gonna go down the
Why don't
fucking
you just-
deep end.
Play.
Because I can't. I mean, my wife doesn't play in that shit. She's not
Yeah.
interested in that. So I can't just like do a casual game.
Yeah.
If I want to play, we have to like organize something, or I have to go to a game shop.
Yeah.
So then it spirals into some nonsense.
We'll just get into D&D.
Look who it is.
I got something you can check.
The chosen one. The chosen one.
Somehow Palpatine returns.
That's for you, Jacob Weiss. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Fuck, man. There's so many things I want to do, and there's not enough time to do most of them, let alone any of them.
Yeah. I'm just happy I've scratched the surface with Fallout. I'm gonna fly through this shit.
It's really easy to get through. It's paced well. It's edited well. There's no slow moments. It's a breeze to get through.
You know what I'm actually also excited for is to fully rewatch Andor, because that first episode, I know I didn't get past that, but the first episode was easy. It was quick.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I could watch. Take me 3 hours to get through the whole fucking series, I feel like. Because some of them were like 33 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, this is only 10 episodes long.
Yep. Yeah, and that
That's
pissed me
one-
off when they
that's-
were releasing once a week.
That's
but
one night in a hotel. I got 3 hours to burn. Dude,
Totally.
let's fucking do it.
let's do it. I hope you do it.
I hope I do it too.
I hope you do too. Keep up your promises, motherfucker.
Yeah. You said you got back in Overwatch. That was a mistake.
It was, well, like I literally just said about the card games and board games and stuff, is like I don't just play a couple rounds and have fun and tune out. It's like I'm analyzing everything and like watching videos about, oh, this new update, now this person has like +10, this person has -10, and I'm checking all that shit, and where I'm just getting like way too into it and fucking screaming, and which when we win, it's awesome. It's so fun. Like you come back at the very, very end, this match you've been down the whole time and you're in overtime and you just like barely pull it through. It's like the best feeling. But then you lose 4 in a row and it's like, fuck this game. I'm uninstalling it. I hate my life.
See, that's why you can't get wrapped up into winning or losing because it is just a fun game. Honestly, I know I'm going to die a bunch. If I die in a ridiculous way, I'm happy because it's kind of fun.
Yeah, there's certain moments, but
Just getting obliterated. I just got to laugh. I'm like, dude, I'm 35 trying to play this fucking game.
I know, dude.
I can't do this shit.
There's like, young kids that have like 20 times the motor skills of me. They're
Yeah.
fucking zipping around the screen.
Zipping around, playing on PC, just fucking magged out.
I don't backed out.
What?
I don't get super
Kids say that, right?
psycho on Elden Ring because going into it, I know I'm like, this game is engineered to kill me.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I'm expecting to die a
Yeah,
lot.
you
so
have to.
I'm kind of along for the ride. It's not as competitive because I'm also obviously not like facing other people. I'm facing
I just
the
get
game.
mad when I kill myself.
Jump off the cliff.
When I accidentally roll off a cliff or when it's that's what for like if an enemy kills me and I was like ready for the battle, I know that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if I'm close to killing an enemy and I roll into a fucker,
Exactly, dude.
that's where I'm like, dude,
you can only
fucking
in
kidding
that
me?
point be pissed at yourself.
I know. and
Whereas in
that's-
Overwatch, I'm like, this fucking guy next to me, not healing me, and I'm like, you know what I mean? It's team based, so like, as good as you do, if the team sucks, you lose, and you just have to like suffer through a match.
What?
What? You lose.
So yeah, Overwatch was a mistake, but I've been still loving Elden Ring. I'm trying to keep it up in my interest level until the DLC comes out.
Well, at this point, fuck,
We're
I
getting
might
kinda
be
close.
jumping back into Fallout 4 after the updates.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I kind of once you mentioned that earlier in the episode, I kind of thought that might be a fun
That's
idea.
easy, dude. And it's perfect timing for you. You've never played that one. I'm going to tell you right now. Story-wise, people hold up Fallout 3 and Vegas. I don't give a fuck what they say. Fallout 4's gameplay is way beyond those two.
Yeah.
Everything's smoother. Everything's funner. Everything looks better. I don't care. I'm playing Fallout 4. And I told you, I played Fallout 3 like 75% of the way through. It's
It's
a
like
mess.
a Oblivion era, you know?
It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
And it's very limiting. 4 is like, it still would be great, especially with the fucking updates.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my wife was playing the Hogwarts game.
I saw that.
She's a little upset because she didn't know that game was specifically made for the new gens, and she's got an Xbox One S, so the Xbox One version of the white. In my mind, I was thinking, oh, you have the S. It's the same as mine.
Oh, it's not the Series S. It's
Not the Series
one.
S. It's the
Fuck
one.
the naming.
It's the one.
Guys, God damn it.
So I felt bad because I talked her into buying it. It was discounted, but I was like, you probably would like this game. And she does like it, but the loading screens, she's like, it's fucking horrendous. So now I'm in my own head. I'm like, look,
Just
maybe
trade
I'll,
Xbox with it.
well, what I was thinking
When's her birthday?
is
Buy a new
maybe I'll
Xbox.
just get myself an Xbox Series X and give her
Give her
my
the hand-me-down?
S. And that's actually what she said. She's like, I'll just play it doesn't matter to me. One, that I would have four
Xboxes.
I would have full 4K
Yep.
gameplay.
Yep.
And I would get my disc drive back so I can play Blu-rays and stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
I love doing a wife hand me down.
For $450 after a $50 discount, I'm like, fuck, man.
It was too easy to buy the Series S.
It was so easy. It was like $300.
Yeah. The Pro controller was more than the console, I think.
Yeah. Which I looked up, the Pro controllers were $20 off. So I'm like, well, if I'm getting a new Xbox X, I'm going to get
I can't recommend it highly enough.
I was like, I'm going to get a new Pro controller. I bundled it all together. It's $650 for a system and a controller. I'm like, fuck me. I don't want this.
Get yourself some coupons, dude.
I mean, I'll just wait. And the other thing is, the next gen isn't. I looked that up because I was like, maybe it come out later this year or something. Not till 2026. So I'm like, fuck. There's not gonna be discounts.
Wait, they're
on
already
it.
prepping next gen consoles?
Yeah.
So I feel like everything's starting to plateau.
Oh yeah.
Like the jump from N64 to GameCube was huge, and GameCube to whatever after that. All right, I'm gonna go back. Xbox to Xbox 360 was huge, but 360 to the One was like the resolution's a little better. It'll play stuff faster. Loading screens are faster. Like, it's not like a completely mind-bending upgrade. You know what I mean? So now that we're at like the Series S and X, I can't imagine them getting ready for a new generation already.
Well, we already see it.
What?
The Hogwarts game won't play on the old gen. So I'm literally
But we're on the current gen.
I know. Just saying, they released it for both, and it barely works on one.
Oh, well, that's just
The other thing
trying
is
to make money.
the timeline of the generations now lasts a lot longer, which doesn't feel like it. But like, you had so many systems launching.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like N64, and then a year later it was like PS1, and then you had the Xbox, and then it was PS2, and then the Wii, and all this shit. And I feel like every like 2 years there was something where now they're almost all along the same timelines.
I feel like they released at the same time.
The NES was like one of the longest, I believe.
I feel like they get into a smoky room together and they talk about when they're going to release new consoles because they all tend to come out at the same time, right? So I'm going to skip like the first and the second. That's like Atari and shit.
Third gen.
I'm going to start at NES and everything. I'm going to start at fifth gen. 1993 was N64 and PS1. And then 1998 was PS2, GameCube, and Xbox.
See, that was a short run.
5 years. Yeah, but they all came out together. And then 7 years to 2005 was the 360, PS3, and Wii. 7 more years. Wii U, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch.
What do you mean? 12 to now is 12 years there, Ace.
No, I said 5 to 12 is 7. I was going from 2005 to 2012.
And then 12 to now. That's a long time. That's 12 years.
Yeah, but then, because I feel like it's not a totally new generation, but when they released the Series S and X.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is a whole new generation. I'm stupid. Yeah, 2020. Those new ones came out. So that's 8 years. Yeah, so they are getting a little longer.
Although if they do.
But if we follow that trajectory, we shouldn't
Yeah.
be getting new consoles until 2028.
Yeah.
You know?
Well.
Unless
maybe,
there's some weird AI overlord fucking upgrade savagery is about to happen.
The other one that I saw, and maybe this is what I'm banking it, or what I read, was what Microsoft was working on was a handheld. And maybe that's what's supposed to be launching in 26 and not a true full new gen. I didn't look too far into it. I just saw a date and saw handheld and then like next gen. So maybe that's the same thing. The next gen is the handheld. Or if it's kind of just like a half gen.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know.
I don't fucking care anymore.
I'm content with the S, man. Series S. I've had no problems.
I've had no
it
problems
loads
either.
instantly. The storage. I only play like 2 games at a time, so like the storage is not a problem. And yeah, the Pro controllers are actually what I love the most about my setup.
See, I'm butt loaded. I got Xbox One. I got Xbox
One S and Series S.
1S, Series S, and a PS4
Yeah.
that I've never
Too
played.
many consoles.
I got the NES.
Mm-hmm. I just have the Xbox and I got the Switch still. It's
I
in a box
have
right
my
now,
Switch.
but
I have my Switch. But the only reason I kept that Xbox One was the disc drive. So if I do get the newer console, we'd have to get rid of my Xbox One and then her Xbox One S. Because there's no reason.
consolidate.
So maybe I'll see
Make
what
sure
kind
everything's in the cloud, and
of see
then
what kind of trade in.
yeah, sell those other shits.
I haven't been
Probably
to a
get
GameCube.
a GameCube.
Right, Gamecast.
What?
Yeah, you probably get like $5 for your Xbox.
That sucks. But what am I? I literally gave my 360 away. I walked into a
You might as
local.
well do that. Find some kid and give it to him.
I walked into a local shop in PA when I upgraded originally to the One,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Hey, how much would you give me for this?" And he's like, "I'm not even gonna offer you anything." I was like, "I'm literally like, I don't want to walk home with this. Like, just what?" He's like, "I don't want to insult you." I'm like, "What would you give me for this?" I'm like, "Literally, if you give me $3, I'm
gonna leave it here.
He's like, "I'll give
Buy
you
me a beer."
I'll give you $20." I'm like, "That's fine. I don't care. I don't need this anymore. It's useless to me."
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it'd be nice to get some money, but
yeah, in that situation, like That I would take that for a lot less money than like trying to list it on Facebook Marketplace and like talk to somebody and meet up and like
Get murdered.
fuck all of that, dude. I'll take half the price if I don't have to do any work whatsoever. Yeah, and
Yeah.
meanwhile, if you can find a Super Nintendo original that still works, that's probably like $500.
Yeah.
The retro stuff goes up, and then the past 10, 15 years are just worthless until they become classic.
Can we talk about how there's a 9th generation of video games?
Soon. Oh no, we are in the
where we
ninth.
are
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So we're about to be in 10th. They should do something special.
Scroll up. What was the gen that I started in? What's 3rd gen is NES. Okay.
Yeah. They don't have any of the handheld stuff, but I started with Game Boy, which was
Probably the 4th.
it was like
Well, I mean,
it
3rd
was
gen
like
overlaps.
89, I think was the Game Boy. So yeah, I would say that's 3rd generation. Game Boy, dude.
And the
That's on-
Game Boy Pocket. With Pokemon Red.
I've had so many different Game Boys, and now I have none of them. I thought I had my classic brick at somewhere in a hidden box in my mom's house, but I cannot find it.
I had the Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah.
It was extra small. It was black, and I had the red Pokemon cartridge. I played the fuck out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
violently.
I know, dude. I know.
I have no idea where it is.
Red, yellow, and fire red. It was like nonstop.
I never played Yellow.
Yellow was fun.
I even have the remake of Yellow, and I still haven't played it.
The Let's Go Pikachu,
Yeah.
Let's Go Eevee. Yeah, yeah. Stop my alarm, please. I argue with our buddy Dustin about Pokemon stuff because he's always trying to get me to play some of the newer games because they're better games, but I'm like, I hate all the new Pokemon, so I'm not going to do that because I'm stubborn.
I mean, you are.
Pokemon fans, I feel like put Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee kind of low on the list because it's like a 3D fun remake of the originals, but it's not like a groundbreaking gameplay changes or graphics or anything.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. You're being a curmudgeon about it because who
I am.
cares? It really doesn't matter who you're fighting. It is the gameplay. It's the grind. That's what the games are about. I started with a Siskabob at level 3. I want to get it to level 83. Let's
shawarma.
fucking do it. A
Level 3 shawarma.
shawarma. Shawarma, man.
I do appreciate the grind, but a big part of it is for me is like the Pokemon and the aesthetic of them.
Yeah, just seeing what's out there. Yeah.
And yeah, it's every time. So like, my daughter's into Pokemon, which is great. I've only bought her Gen 1 Pokemon stuffed animals up to this point. But she does have a couple Pokemon books, and every time I see one of the new ones, I'm just like, it's just dumb, dude.
I mean, I could poke.
I know.
I could poke
I know.
at our own.
I know. I'm like an original Star Wars fanboy. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's one of the few
What the fuck is a Porygon?
franchises that I won't budge on. I'm a Gen 1 diehard. I don't give a shit about anything after 151.
Muck. It's just sludge.
Dude, yeah. Fantastic. It's great.
Fantastic.
It's great. I'll take Muck and Grimer over the fucking keys and the ice cream all day.
Did you know there's like a garbage mon? That he's literally a pile of garbage.
Dude, I'm just gonna. We've done this 1,000
Don't do it.
times.
Don't
on
do
this
it. Don't do
show.
it. Let's end the show.
The dumbest Pokemon.
Here we go.
The 20 USA Today. What is the news? USA Today has an article about the 25 worst Pokemon of all time, and you guys can't see this. I apologize sincerely, but just go to Google and you'll find it. God, fuck.
You're already mad.
It's a
It's a
drag
fish.
queen Goldeen
It's a
over here. What is these ads, dude? I can't see the screen. I'm glad you were here to witness that. Like, I can't.
That's fine. What is it?
I guess
It's
it's
a
a stupid
fish.
looking fish. Spidops is a trap. It's a spider, I guess. Whatever. Okay.
The dude's name's
guess.
Throw.
Yeah, martial arts Pokemons. I don't know. Just for some reason, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are so much cooler than these two guys. Throw and Sock. I don't know what the fuck that even means. This is Sandy from fucking SpongeBob.
It is.
This is a fucking Diglett ripoff. This is a Lickitung ripoff.
I mean, that's
Or-
what
oh, it's
Lickitung
part of
turns
the
into.
family. I guess that is one part of the new gen that if there's like an extra evolution or like pre-evolution, like I'll fuck with Pichu or whatever. I guess That's the garbage guy. It's Oscar the Grouch.
He's just rebar and mud.
It's the design and the name. Like Garbador.
Yeah, that's bad.
Muck is a great name. Grimer and Muck is great names.
Yeah.
And they look way cooler than this. It's like they're trying way too hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those dots for pupils, this looks like King Hrothgar right there. I don't even know what that is. There's the ice cream. Vanillux.
That's bad.
Vanillux.
That's bad.
Yeah. I'll take Porygon over that anytime. Cryogonal.
Wait, it's a... What is it?
An ice Porygon, I guess?
Is it crying? Is that what the eye...
It's a snowflake. Great. Okay. Yeah. All right. The owl actually, or like a dove. I know there was no owls in the first generation. I kind of wish there was.
That was not even that bad. Those were different.
Sorry, dude. It's a fucking cricket Master Yoda over here. Heat more. Heat more. More heat, please.
Magmar.
God damn it, dude.
Wait, go back up. Was that a surfboarding?
Yeah, dude. It's Silver Surfer.
Got amped over here.
Goldango.
Silver Surfer.
Coin entity Pokemon is what it says. That's his classification. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Spupa? Spupa. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I'm not
horrible.
sure. I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Horrible. Horrible.
Angry
That's
Clouds.
a nightmare. That's horrible, dude. Woobat? It's like a pre-Golbat? Or pre-Zubat? Zubat's so much better than that. Fuck this
Zubat's a
thing,
bat.
dude. This is a bat, too.
That's not.
It
That's not a
is.
bat. I'm telling you, I've seen bats.
Crobat. What?
Wow.
There's another bat. How are there so many bats, dude? That's horrible.
Goldeen is just as bad. Goldeen is like a dick sucking fish.
No, Goldeen looks fine, dude. Goldeen.
She looks a little tempting.
Yeah, tempting to you. You want to get in that? I'm talking about.
Oh boy, fuck
Gumshoes.
Gumshoes.
Okay, great. Paris.
Aw.
Come on. The most awful Pokemon of all time is Paris.
That's a weird one to throw. They had ice cream cones. I've never liked Paris, but an insect mushroom Pokemon doesn't seem that ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like an insect crab with mushrooms growing off of it. It's tripping on acid every single time. I mean, it's not that good to play with, but
No, it sucks.
it's not horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Good day.
anything else?
I don't fucking know. I'm
All
done.
right, fine.
You're reading Dune.
I am reading Dune.
Sandy.
Dune is really good.
Counting our buttresses.
Dune is fantastic. I'm only 100 pages into the book, so I got nothing new to report compared to the movies. But I love it, and I want to see Dune 2 soon. Any final words?
Yes.